Welcome to all of you. This is the first video of the playlist English Language for Competition, and in this video we will know about the structure of English language. So let us start this topic with the definition of grammar. Grammar is the description of the rules of a language that operate at phonological, lexical, syntactic and semantic levels. Language is a structured system and the basic components of its structure are phoneme, morpheme, word, phrase, clause and sentence. Phoneme is the smallest unit in the sound system of a language. For example, if we divide the word fast, we will find that it consists of the sound F, A, S, T. These sounds cannot be further divided and so they are phonemes. In English, there are altogether 44 distinct sounds called phonemes, out of which there are 24 consonant and 20 vowels. Morpheme. Morpheme is the next higher unit. If we divide the word classes, the result will be class plus es. These two parts of the word classes are morphemes. Morphemes are of two kinds, free and bound. A free morpheme can stand by itself. The morpheme class in the word classes can stand by itself and so it is a free morpheme. A morpheme that must be attached to a free morpheme is called a bound morpheme. Word. Word is the next higher unit in the structure of English. A word can consist of a free morpheme or more than one free morpheme. The following example can explain this topic more. For example, word. It is one free morpheme word. Then words. Here one free morpheme plus one bound morpheme s. Then signification. In this word, one free morpheme plus two bound morphemes. Signi, sign plus IFE plus Asian. Then classroom. There are two free morphemes, class plus room. Then Sundays. There are two free morpheme in this word. One bound morpheme plus a free morpheme plus bound morpheme. Sun plus day plus S. Two free morpheme, sun plus day and plus one bound morpheme in this word, Sundays. Then a bound morpheme is also called an affix. Affixes are of three kinds, prefix, infix and suffix. A prefix is attached to a free morpheme at its beginning. An infix is in the middle and a suffix is at the end. English has prefixes and suffixes only. In the word unable, un is a prefix and in the word goodness, ness is a suffix. On the basis of the number of free and bound morphemes, words are classified into three categories: simple, complex and compound kind of words. Simple, one free morpheme only. For example, room. Second, complex, one free morpheme plus one or more than one bound morphemes. For example, rooms, beginnings. Third, compound words. Two free morpheme or two free morphemes and one or more bound morphemes. For example, classroom or classrooms. Now, next is phrase. Phrase is a group of words. Language. Words have a definite place in. Words according to form are classified as noun, pronoun, article, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction and interjection. According to the function, they are divided into content and structure words. The structure words form the structure of a sentence. The structure words are pronouns, articles, preposition, conjunctions, auxiliaries and modals. We leave interjections as they are used as a special situations. The number of structure words is fixed in English. The archaic pronouns thou, thy and thine are no more used in modern English. The content words are nouns, adjective, main verbs and adverbs. These words fill in the gap between structure words and give meaning to a sentence. For example, a dash was dash from dash to dash. The gap in this sentence can be filled by content words according to the intentions of the writer or speaker. A few examples are: a man was going from Kanpur to Etawah. A girl coming Delhi, Kanpur. A boy running pillar post. So, as structure words carry no meaning of their own, they are called empty words. Since their number is fixed, they are called close ended words. The content words go on increasing. They are called open ended words. Now, the phrase. The phrase is the next higher unit in the structure of a language. It is a group of words in their rightful place. Since English is an agglutinative language, words must be in proper place in a phrase. If the order is changed, its meaning will change or will not carry any meaning at all. In English language, there are 5 kinds of phrase: noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective phrase, adverbial phrase, and prepositional phrase. Noun phrase. In a noun phrase, the most important word is the noun, also called the head word. For example, a very good boy, a strange meeting, John's book. Second, verb phrase. In a verb phrase, the most important word is the verb. Then, adjective phrase. It consists of an intensifier and an adjective. For example, very good, extremely bright. Then, adverbial phrase. It consists of an intensifier and an adverb. For example, very slowly, very badly. Then, prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase begins with a preposition in the body. For example, in a body or on the table. According to a function, phrases are called subject, predicate, verbal, complement, object, and adjunct. Then the sentence. The sentence is the highest unit of a language and its nucleus is the verb. A sentence must have subject and a verb except in imperative sentences. The structure of a sentence can be analyzed in terms of its form and function. When we divide the sentence, like a small boy was standing by the door into, then we will find that a small boy, this is a noun phrase, was standing by the door, this is a verb phrase. We do it according to form, and when we divide it into a small boy, we find that this is the subject of the sentence, and then was standing, we will find that this is the verb, then by the donor, adjunct. We do it according to the function. Then the second sentence, he was reading a book at 7, consists of he, subject, was reading, verb, a book, object, at 7, adjunct. An adjunct is not an integral part of a sentence and can be detached. A long sentence can consist of more than one main verb. The sentence that contains more than one main verb can be divided into clauses. Clauses are of 2 kinds, main clause and subordinate clause. A main clause can stand by itself, whereas a subordinate does not. For example, the sentence, when I went to see him, he was writing a letter, consists of 2 clauses. For one, when I went to see him. Second, he was writing a letter. The first clause in the subordinate clauses, it cannot stand by itself. It is dependent on the second clause, the main clause, which stand by its own. A subordinate clause is of 3 kinds: relative clause, complement clause, adverbial clause. The relative clause is related to the head word of the main clause. The boy who gave you the book is my brother. Here, the subordinate clause, who gave you the book, is related to the head word boy in the principal or main clause. The complement clause completes the main verb or the main clause. I know that he is ill. Here the complement clause, that he is ill, completes the main clause, I know. In traditional grammar, the complement clauses was named. Noun clause. Noun clauses, because in the most cases it functions like a noun, that is object to a verb, subject to a verb, complement to a verb, and noun is the opposition to another noun. Adverbial clause is essentially an adjunct and modifies the main verb of the principal clause. For example, he left the house when the sun rose. She rebuked him because he was very slow. Here, the clauses when the sun rose and because he was very slow are adverbial clauses, as they modify the verbs left and rebuked respectively. So this is the structure of the English language. I hope you understand this. So thanks a lot for watching this video. Please like this video and share it, and subscribe the channel, and press the bell icon so that you can get the notification for the next videos. Thanks a lot once again.